Hi, I'm Chris James. You're watching Healthy Alternative, and today we're going to be talking about water, specifically how much water should you be drinking on a water fast. Let's go. So I get this question a lot, and I've literally never done a video specifically about this, but people ask, how much water should you be drinking on a water fast? And the answer is pretty simple, it's pretty straightforward, but we're gonna kind of try to dispel all of the myths and things associated with it as well. The reality is it's simply about 90 ounces to a gallon of water a day is my recommendation. I actually used to recommend 1 gallon of water a day, and I lowered it to 90 ounces a day for two different reasons. Number one, as I've been working with you all for the past decade, a lot of you all think that 1 gallon is a lot to drink. A lot of you have trouble getting a gallon in. And so I've always been open to lowering the number. So when I do consultations, I'll tell people at a minimum of 64 ounces. But what I really want you guys to shoot for is a minimum of 90 ounces a day. And the second reason why I changed it to 90 ounces a day is because I recently listened to a book called The Body's Many Cries for Water. And in that book, the author talked about some of the minimum recommendations for water and how he was able to actually help people reverse many diseases by just simply giving them water. Okay, it was essentially a book about water and fasting, which I absolutely love when that happens. But when I very first started teaching, health and wellness, one of my friends who had debilitating headaches had come to me and was like, "Yo, Chris, like I don't know what's going on. Like I get these really crazy headaches. Is there anything you could do? Can you tell me? Can you give me any advice?" So, I asked a few questions, poked around a little bit. What are you eating? How much water did you drink? Blah, 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 blah. And this girl, she's very active. She's very fit. Even to this day, she's very fit. And so it's one of them situations where somebody looks healthy, looks like they're in good shape and everything, but they're suffering in silence. And so what I determined was she needed to stop taking in the caffeine and she needed to upregulate her water. And I said, yo, drink a gallon of water a day and do it for a week. She had such an incredible experience after the first week. I think she decided to do it for a month. I either told her to do it for a week or 2 weeks, and she decided to do it for a month. She noted that her skin felt different. The debilitating headaches had gone away. She had more energy because I got her off caffeine. And that was another thing. She was drinking a lot of caffeine. So I'm like, you can't be drinking caffeine. It's detracting from what it is we're trying to do here. And so everything was great. And she never talked about those headaches again. So one of the reasons why we have to stay away from caffeine is because caffeine is a diuretic. And so anything that's a diuretic, when we're dealing with, hydrating the body, when we're looking to hydrate the body, we want to stay away from diuretics. That's why even some teas I don't recommend when you guys fast. So any medicinal tea you guys can have during your water fast, but if it has caffeine in it, or if you buy it from Kroger and it comes in those little plastic tea bag type things, you don't want to use that stuff, right? Get yourself a loose leaf tea and make sure that it is something that's going to help detox you and aid you in your process. Now, what kind of water do I recommend? I recommend distilled water. Start with a distilled water base. Distilled water just simply means pure water. So we're going to start with the pure water base. Then once you have the pure water, you can add your electrolyte, you can add your salt, you can add your minerals to it if you choose. I do not do that personally. I do not think that it's necessary to do that. I have never really done it outside of just simply testing it. And so when people ask me, Chris, do I need to add electrolytes? I'm going to tell you no, because you don't need electrolytes. As a matter of fact, my brother, who was when he very first started doing his long stints of fasting, he had a test that he had to do at work. I think it was like a blood test or like a wellness test or something. And he was in the middle of fasting when he took his test. What ended up happening was we actually saw his electrolytes improve. He had several electrolytes that were out of range that actually came in range while he was fasting. And of course, they stayed in range as he continued to fast and change his diet. So you don't have to worry about your electrolytes. I know that's like a misconception, but we don't necessarily want to be pounding like 2 gallons of water. When you drink your water, you want to make sure that you pace it, right? The goal is to drink your water throughout the day. Just sip sip slowly on your water throughout the day. So I just wanted to make sure I got that in there because I didn't mention it earlier. Yes, we're going to drink a gallon or 90 ounces or whatever you choose to do. But if it's halfway through the day and you've barely touched your water, don't try to pound it in the evening, you know, and you're just going to overwork your kidneys. You're going to start to create some of the issues that people get from drinking too much water. Just sip your water throughout the day slowly, and that's how we're going to approach it. Although I don't recommend adding electrolytes to your water, here are some recommendations I will add. Some lemon, right? You get yourself some lemon, slice it up, or key limes would be even better. Slice it up, let that cold steep in your water for about 4 hours. And then that will actually put an electrical charge in it. It will add electrolytes in there. And if you feel like you need that, you could do that. You could also add mint leaves or pretty much any plant material. Chia seeds are one that I really suggest because if you ever notice a chia seed that is submerged, after it's underwater for, a few minutes, you'll notice that this little water glob goes around the chia seed. And that is the fourth phase of water, okay? That is cellular water. So the chia seeds will actually produce cellular water right there. Then once you drink that water, you'll be able to extract that hydration from the chia seed and you'll just poop the seed out. So if you guys want to add chia seeds to your water, you can do that. I recommend something around the nature of like a quarter teaspoon of chia seeds in a gallon of water. Maybe half a teaspoon in a gallon of water. Okay. So that just gives you an idea of how much. You're not putting very much. You don't need a lot of chia seeds. I know some people will put like a teaspoon of chia seeds in 16 ounces of water, and that's not fun. Okay. So if you like that, you could do it, I suppose, but you don't have to put that many chia seeds in it. All right, so distilled water base, you can add your plant material to it to help increase the charge, make the water more hydrating, and then you want to sip your water slowly throughout the day. So that's kind of the way that you're going to want to interact with your water. That's how much water you should drink. And look, I want you guys to understand, let this be intuitive. If you are drinking 90 ounces or a gallon of water a day and you're finding that you feel like you can't get it all in, it's too much water, listen to your body, slow down on the water, or pace yourself better, okay? What I notice is, especially with distilled water, if you guys have never drank a gallon of distilled water a day, you're gonna find you're going to the bathroom a lot for the first 10 days. It takes about 10 days for the body to adjust to drinking that much water. After that, you'll find that you probably start to crave a little bit more water, so it's easier to drink. And then depending on how long you've been on your fasting journey, fasting on and off, eating your fruits and vegetables, drinking fresh pressed juice, then you might find that you don't really need as much water to stay hydrated. Allow that to be an intuitive process, and you guys are going to be great. So here's some things to note. Oftentimes when you're hungry, you're actually mistaking your thirst cues for hunger cues. So you may notice that when you start taking in more water, whether you're fasting or not, that you become more sated because we typically think that we're hungry when we're thirsty. That happens a lot. Another thing I want you guys to understand is that all water does not hydrate you the same. Now we talked about what my major recommendation was, but let's kind of unpack why. Well, first of all, when you buy bottled water, you don't really know where the source is. You know where they told you it come from, but then you also see in the news these water companies getting sued for lying about where they source their water. So what I said was, let's just cut out the middleman. Let's get distilled water, or let's distill our water. And then that way we know exactly what's going on. All right. So when you get these bottled waters, they're actually referred to as bulk water because the water molecule has a big bulky head. And oftentimes we're dehydrated. We're also dealing with inflammation, which means the cells aren't readily absorbing water. So when you take an inflamed cell and you take a big bulky water molecule and you try to mate them, they don't work well. Okay. So you want to break up those water clusters a little bit, make that water a little easier to absorb, which is why we do the lemon, why we do the chia seeds. This is also why I teach you guys how to sun charge your water. This is also why recently I've been talking about using the hydrogen water machine, because it also breaks up those big water clusters, and everything helps to promote hydration. So it's important to understand that. If you get spring water, do a little research. find out where the source is from. Make sure it comes in a glass jar, and that's okay. But really, if you're going to get spring water, the best thing to do is to go to the spring and bottle it yourself, because natural water has an energetic charge that bottled water doesn't contain. Now, if you guys are interested in being able to charge your water very quickly and easily, you don't want to cut up the fruit, you don't want to wait, you don't want to do all that. My friend Patrick over at the Wellness Enterprise, who I call him a water specialist, he developed a product. It is a water vortexer. All right. It's a water structuring device. It's a water energizing device. And he has taken his, 15, 20 years of experience selling water, and he's put it all into this amazing device. It is the highest quality water structuring device that I've ever had. It is the most potent. You could tell that a lot of care and positive energy was put into the creation of it. And so it's one of those pieces that will last you a lifetime. And no matter what type of water you're dealing with, whether it's bottled water, spring water, alkaline water, or distilled water, you could run it through the structuring device and you can make it water that's going to be hydrating for the body. So I'll leave the link in the description box for that, as well as for the hydrogen machine. And hopefully you guys can maybe grab a couple of these tools, and it'll help you to hydrate better. Because honestly, at the end of the day, you can't lose weight, you can't heal, you can't reverse disease, and you can't balance hormones without proper hydration. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the thumbs up button. If you want to see more videos like this, subscribe. Don't forget to join us over at AHA Communities. We've got a free membership going over there. There's literally tens of thousands of people over there. Come join us. This is where we host our challenges and where I give out a lot of my free guides and things of that nature. So just go to ahacommunities.com. Come join us. That way you can fellowship, maybe meet people in your area, learn more. Share this video out if you enjoyed it. And as always, the application of knowledge is power. And I will see you all next time. Peace.